home property types, better known as home occupancy types, when you're getting a mortgage home loan, and why this is important for you. Jennifer Hernandez, Loan with Jen, welcome to my YouTube channel. Real facts, no BS, everything about mortgage that you need to know. So home occupancy types, did you know that this is the number one reason for mortgage fraud with lenders currently in this market? So I'm here to give you the real facts so that you know and don't get blindsided and put yourself in any kind of compromising position. So according to lenders, there's only 3 mortgage types, and I'm going to talk about all 3. So home type number 1 is primary residence. This is where you live and reside as your primary residence. Now, you can only have 1 primary residence at a time, and it needs to be in the same area where you work. So, for example, there's a lot of people that are moving cross country to other states. If that applies to you, just make sure that you get a letter from your employer, or we will get a letter from your employer, that you are a remote employee. So this is really, really important. Primary residence has to be where you work, and you have to also occupy it as your primary within 60 days of the loan closing. So if that doesn't apply to you, then it's not a primary residence. So be careful and just save you time and energy when you're making your loan application. Now, the second type of property is a second home, AKA vacation home. So it is a home that is in usually a vacation spot type destination. So that would be like a beach, mountains, a lake. Now, it doesn't always have to be that, but it needs to make sense that you're going back and forth, and that at least half of the year you intend to use that for your own recreation. So some people have a secondary residence because they're they have family and they come back and forth, or they, I'm in Houston, I live in Houston. So lots of people come to our medical center here for treatment. They might have cancer treatment or something like that. So it needs to make sense. Now, having a second or vacation home isn't prohibited if you rent for your primary residence. So there are some people that might rent in their place where they work and live. And then this is a home that they're buying. It doesn't matter if it's their first home purchase or not. It is a secondary or vacation type residence. So again, the definition of that is it's usually a vacation type destination, and or it needs to be 55 plus miles away in general, in most cases, from your primary residence. Now, the third type of occupancy is investment. So if primary or second vacation home doesn't apply to you, the only other applicable occupancy type, according to lenders, is investment. So it doesn't matter if you're going to be collecting rent or not. Some people have an investment property and family's going to live there and they're not going to be paying rent. It's still going to be categorized as an investment property. So an investment property means that it doesn't fit one of the first 2 categories, that you may or may not be collecting rent for the property, and it's an investment. So in that case, normally a higher down payment and higher interest rate is definitely in play. So what we see in lending, and where a lot of the fraud is happening, is people saying it's going to be investment when it's really not, so that they can use the investment rental income to offset the payment, or they say it's going to be the primary and it's really not, it's going to be an investment. So be cautious, make sure you know exactly what type of property it is going to be. Make sure that you definitely don't state anything that's not true, because that is a federal crime And just know that if a lender starts to ask you lots of questions about how you're going to use the property, this is very normal. And it's actually a very good sign of due diligence, because the last thing we want is to have you in a compromising position, and of course ourselves in a compromising position. So make sure that you disclose everything to your lender. Talk to your lender about the different options available to you, whether it's a primary, secondary, or investment property. Please also stick around on our channel and watch Home Buying Process A to Z. We'll put it in the notes, in the description. Real facts, no BS, Loan with Jen. Talk to you soon.